Welcome back to Finding Ash. I'm your girl Ashley, and the last post I posted was about how lost I was. And I just kind of wanted to give y'all an update of what's been taking place the last 2 weeks, okay? So, the first week, I did my vitamins. I said, you know what? I'm going to start somewhere. I'm not going to sit here and put something out on social media for viewers to see and be like, okay, she's still not being consistent. Now, the posting piece, I'm working on that, so don't hold me accountable for posting, okay? But I promise you guys I will get better at it with time. But I wanted to just say that the first week I said, Ashley, you're getting older, okay? You're getting older. You're not a young chicken anymore. So you need to take care of yourself, okay? Well, where do I start with taking care of myself? And you know what came in mind? Your underlying health issues. You need to get that together. So I started taking vitamins every single day, and since then I have taken my vitamins every day, and I'm proud of myself. For some, that may be a very small little detail, small little goal to set, but for someone who does not think about their health or think about taking vitamins or medicine that's given to them that's prescribed by a doctor, it goes a long way. It definitely helps you out. So yes, I'm gonna give myself a pat on the back because I did it, and I'm still doing it every single day. I think within the 2 weeks that I've been consistent with this, one day I missed it, but I took it in the evening because I was like, nope, I'm not gonna do it. I gotta take my medicine. Well, vitamins. Okay, we'll get to medicine a little bit later. So then I said, okay, I've been good doing this for a week. What are we gonna add this week? And you know what came to mind? My relationship with Christ. That is very important to me. As a believer, as a Christian, growing up in the church, yes, of course, I strayed away like we all do. Some of us lose that whole faith and hope in God. Some of us never even met God or heard about Him and heard about His Word and the things that He can do for us. So I said, well, let me get back to reading my Word. So on last Monday, that was my second goal I started. I get up every morning. I get on my knees. I don't just pray and say, thank you, Lord, for waking me up today. No, I get on my knees and I pray. And the very first day, I cried like a baby. I would say probably the first couple of days. I cried like a baby because it just felt so good to be on my knees and actually spending that time with Him, carving out that time for Him in the morning. And it feels amazing. It feels good. And within me doing that, y'all, let me tell y'all what I've done to also add, because I've added a few things and not even knowing or realizing it. And so me and my husband got to talking this weekend. But the things that I've done, I've woken up every day. I've made my husband breakfast. I made him lunch. I packed his snacks. I made sure his ice pack is put up. I've cooked dinner every day. It's just like, oh my goodness. Who would have thought I was strong enough to be able to do that? And I'm not saying I cook dinner by myself every day, because my husband is actually in the kitchen with me talking to me, and I'm just like, okay, like I can get used to this. And a lot of people don't know my story or my journey through my marriage, but we'll talk about that later and how we met and stuff like that. But I was just like, dang, like, and I'm not tired. Like, I still have energy. I could have been doing this all this time. And you want to know why? Because I started with that first goal of taking my vitamins. And I feel like that has kind of given me a boost to go like mad mom or whatever, trying to do it all. But I'm not burning myself out, okay? But praying to God has helped me. After I get through praying, I go to my study Bible that my first lady from back home, shout out to Sister Tanya from Guiding Light. I love that church. I miss that church. If I was home, I would be going to that church every Sunday. But unfortunately, I'm not there, so I have a church home here, Truth and Love Bible Church. So that's the church I attend now. But I started reading my Bible, and I was finishing up Esther, and then I came to the book of Job. And when the book of Job started, it was talked about how God and the devil had a conversation about Job, and how, because Job was a good servant to God, he was a blessed man, and he feared God and things like that. So the devil was like, I'm gonna take everything from him and see how he responds to you. Then God was like, try it. I bet you don't change. And so far with the reading I've done, I think I'm at like chapter 29 going on chapter 30. I'm like, this man is still fighting for himself, for Christ. He's not questioning what God did to him. He's not having no doubt or nothing like that. He still has his full faith in God. But the one thing through this story that I've learned is the people you surround yourself with will be your biggest, what is the word I'm looking for? I can't think of it right now, but be the biggest people to bring you down. The ones that will act like a cheerleader when you got it all, but as soon as you don't got it all, is the negativity start to come. You start to see people's true colors, okay? And it's just kind of like, wow. And when you start thinking back on your life and when things was good and up, everybody was there for you, and then you get down and now it's like, oh wow, dad, you know what I'm saying? Especially when you serving God and you talk about him all the time. People are like, oh, why God let that happen to you if you're supposed to be so holy and this, that, and the third? Scared, pump your brakes, because God never said it would be easy on this earth. We will have trials and tribulations. It's all in how we respond to those trials and tribulations. And what I'm learning is to trust in God, because when I told you 4 days straight reading my Bible, let me start it over. 4 days straight getting on my knees praying to my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ after years of not doing it, finishing my prayer, going straight into my word, reflecting on the questions that are asked during that time. Thursday night at 2 o'clock, I got a phone call. Well, I didn't get the phone call because I was asleep. My husband got a phone call, and I just hear him say, huh, Gianna. And I'm like, what's that, the police? He like, yeah. I'm like, well, she took the car. Like, Dad, this girl done got a ticket. I keep telling this girl, like, don't be stealing my car. Like, for one, too much going on. Like, you ain't got no license, no nothing. Like, you shouldn't even be touching a car. And I'm not saying my teen is perfect, because she's not. She's a teenager, okay? And no teenager is perfect. And if you got a perfect teenager, God bless you. Drop some parenting tips, conversations that you've had with your teenagers for them to listen and be respectful and, you know, follow your directions and stuff and the guidance that you've been giving them throughout life. Please drop them conversations so I can start having them. I still got 2 young boys that I gotta raise as well, so I would love that advice, because parenting, I'm not gonna lie, I started gentle parenting, and yeah, it don't work. My daughter does not receive any of that at all. Not a bad kid, very, very intelligent, very bright. But again, those friends you surround yourself around, whew, are your biggest influencers. But we got that phone call at 2 o'clock in the morning. My husband hands me the phone. Hold on, here's my wife. And all I hear is, ma'am, your daughter is being rushed to the hospital. She was in an accident. I took a deep breath, because I know they were lying to me. Because the last time I got a phone call like that in the middle of the night, my brother was dead. So he's like, we're at the front door, if you can come to the door and talk with us. And I'm like, okay. So I get up, I go to the door, still asleep, still not really understanding what's going on, what's happening. And the guy, he's like, the car is totaled, it's bad, it's not drivable or nothing like that. So I'm like, he's at the hospital, you know, can you get there? And I'm just like, sir, I have no transportation. If you're saying my car is totaled, how am I gonna get to her? I don't have any money for Uber right now. Like, I think I was getting paid that next day or something. And I was like, how am I gonna get there? I can't. I was like, y'all are gonna have to bring her home or something. They was like, no, we have to release it to a parent. I was like, okay. I was like, let me talk with my husband, see what we can come up with. And by the grace of God, the officer was so nice. He was like, ma'am, I'll call you an escort car. I'll get one of our officers to take you there. And he did. And I was like, thank you, Jesus. So let me tell you, I get in the back of that cop car, and it is like all of this plastic or whatever, plexiglass. I am like freaking out. I've never been in the back of a cop car. Never even been in a cop car. So I'm freaking out. I'm like, sir, can you please roll this window down? Like, I'm starting to panic and stuff, and I'm just like, oh my gosh. So anyway, I get to the hospital and I see my daughter. She's laying down. She hasn't been seen yet by the physicians or anything like that. They were waiting for me to give there for consent and all of that. And you know, I'm like looking over her body. I don't see no bruises and nothing like that. She's like, Mom, just okay. Like, I'm so sorry. Like, very apologetic and stuff like that. And the only thing I can do, because my daughter didn't have any marks on her body that I physically saw when I first saw her, was just thank God and just tell her, Gianna, I understand you're a teenager, you want to live your life, but in this season, it's time for you to really give your life to Christ, because he does have a calling on her life. I remember this girl used to be young. She was like 7 years old, and I had got sick one time, and she prayed over me, and like my body was aching so bad, and she just put her hands on me and she prayed, and instantly I felt relief of pain. I was able to get up, move around, do what I needed to do, and before then I couldn't. But my baby prayed over me that day, so I know she got a calling on her life, and it ain't nobody but the enemy trying to stop her and have her so deep in sin she don't even know who to call on, how to get herself out. So we had that conversation, and I talked to her. You know, I didn't yell or nothing like that. The car wasn't even a factor in that moment. I was just happy to see my baby girl alive. So we get home or whatever, and you know, I'm talking to my husband or whatever. I'm like, they're saying the car's totaled, but I think we'll be able to get it fixed, get it drive. We get to the car, car is not drivable at all. And after seeing it, nothing but tears of joy, praising God, thanking God for allowing her to make it through that accident, you know. And that's what that week was about. God prepared me for that moment, to be able to give him the praise and not be like, wow, we ain't got no car, this, that, and the third, fussing and all that. And then, you know how parents get. You're like, dang, that's the only car we got. You know what I'm saying? Especially when you don't come from money, you ain't rich. You know what I'm saying? Now you got to figure out how to make ends meet to get another car, this, that, and the third. But I didn't do that. I didn't panic. Neither did my husband. Very calm, very collective. And if you know my husband, he's not always the calmest person. But it was eye-opening for us. And I just want to say I thank God, because during these 2 weeks from my last post of being lost, that post and this platform is going to continue to encourage me, to encourage others. Find yourself. Don't stay lost, because the enemy going to keep trying to tear you down. He going to keep trying to bring everybody around you to bring you down. He's going to touch the things that's close if he can't get to you. And that's what happened to me. Because when I say I've been consistent with getting on my knees praying and reading my Bible, I've been consistent with it, okay? Like, I didn't even stop after that. It was like one day I missed, but I caught it back up the very next day, because it was just a lot going on that Friday, trying to figure everything out with work, and it was just a lot. But I am so thankful that during this journey of these 2 weeks from my last post, I've been able to take my vitamins every day, pray first thing in the morning, and read my word. That's 3 things, y'all, in 2 weeks. Not even thinking about the cooking I've done every single day. And if y'all know me, I don't like to cook, and let people tell it. I can't cook. Sorry, Peaches, I love you. She always talk about how you can do everything else. You can do hair, you can do nails, but you can't cook. I be trying, okay? I be trying. But I have done those things, you know, and it makes me feel really good, you know. And I'm not gonna lie, some people may say I started my journey backwards because I didn't put God first. I put vitamins first. But maybe that's what it took for me to continuously be consistent, to add these things on into my home, you know. But I just wanted to come up here and share my little story with you guys. I will be back again. We can definitely talk more about the details of the accident and all of that good stuff, because I ain't going nowhere, okay? Because not just me, myself, and I trying to find myself, I want you guys to find yourselves too. If you're struggling with something, you need somebody to talk to from a no judgment zone, put some comments down here. Subscribe, like, follow this channel, because we're gonna find ourselves, and we're not gonna be lost forever. We're not gonna keep being on blood pressure medicine, having anxiety, panic attacks, and all of that stuff. We're not going to have that anymore, because we're going to find ourselves, and while we're finding ourselves, we're going to build each other up. We're going to support each other. We're going to encourage each other, and we're going to hold each other accountable. Okay? So I did 2 weeks of being consistent. What was your week of being consistent? If you have not started, go ahead and get started. Tell me what your goal is, and I'll continue to encourage you and push you each day. Until next time with Finding Ash, mwah, I love you all. Let's find ourselves together and allow Christ to lead every step of the way. Toodles.